can't touch this. You can't touch this. You can't touch this. You can't touch this. My music hits me so hard, makes me say, oh my Lord, thank you for blessing me. What am I?
It all started off last Thursday. I hadn't seen Tim for 6 weeks and he was away on an art exhibition. But I thought it was good of me to walk to his house. Little did I know, though, Tabby was behind me. He followed me everywhere. So I was unaware, so I walked up to the door, knocked, and waited for an answer. Then Tim came out. Here's Tim. He's the average 14-year-old boy. He likes his schoolwork and is very up-to-date. He also likes art and dance. Whenever we get the chance, we dance. Well, Tom, also known as Tabby, is a very different kind of guy. When he was younger, he used to get bullied, quite a lot, by everybody. Not me, though. I'd see him sometimes in McDonald's, getting beaten up by the other kids. They used to throw bricks at him. He'd laugh about it. But really, underneath all of it, I could see his sad face. I felt sorry for him. Sometimes I'd even see him in the park. Bullies would take his coat, hit his head and run away. He tried to catch them, but it wasn't much help. But in the end, revenge has finally made sense to him, and he takes out all his anger on the general public. However, this has had a terrible consequence. He's a mass murder serial killer. But moving on to me, I love horses, and dance too. Here's me and Tim. We always dance together down at the harbour. But you can imagine, life with these two people can sometimes be hell on wheels. They don't get on. None of us do. Me and Tim, well, we get on. So I went into his house after he invited me in, and we sat down. He told me he just made tea, so I thought it was kind of me to accept it. I asked him how things were. He replied with, "Fine, they're great at the moment." So I went over to the cupboard and I got the shreddies, and I came and sat back down. Just as I was digging into my shreddies, some random guy turned up at the door. Yes, it was Tabby. I noticed, and he barged in. I threw shreddies at him and told him to go away. He threatened Tim, said, "Oi, give me your money, boy." Tim was afraid, but he said, "Up in the drawer, it's up in the drawer." So Tom went, yet again, struggling with the door, and I said, "You're not just going to let him prowl around your drawers, are you?" He said, "No, let's go." So that's exactly what we did. I had time to change my trousers, so I wouldn't look stupid downtown in riding gear. So we ran, as fast as possible, to get away from Tabby. We ran, and we ran, and we ran. However, Tabby knew we were gone, and he came out of the house, screaming, yelling at us. Behind us we could hear him screaming, "Come back here! Come back!" So, we took the easy route out. We got in a bus, but Tim realised it wasn't working, so we got out, both of us. We were quite a few miles ahead of him, but we didn't know what to do, so we ran, again. We were about 10 miles in front, and then we realised we got away. Tim said, "Jude, we've got away." However, things weren't that easy. He had some kind of time machine. They started to fight, and fight, and fight. I was afraid, very afraid, so I ran away. That's how I'm not in the film anymore. I'm just the stupid little narrator that narrates all this, how it's going on and how it started. But anyway, sorry, carrying on. Yes, they fought, and Tabby was getting pretty much the worst of it, to be honest. Tim slapped him, and he fell away. It was an advantage though. Tabby took him, kicked him. For a while it looked like he seemed unconscious, but as Tabby walked away I realised he wasn't. But after 5 minutes of dying in hospital, he was back, and I was ever so happy. But to find out what happened to poor old little Tim, and Tabby, and me, you see, there's one favour. All we ask of you today is to make our dreams come true, and please invest in our movie.